Welcome to the 5th tutorial on beginning HTML. Today, we're going to look at creating a table using HTML. When you're dealing with large amounts of tabular data, tables are definitely the way to go to display this information, and it's a quick and easy way for your users to understand the data you are displaying. Again, we will create these in HTML, and later I will teach you how to stylize these using CSS to give them an awesome look. These tables are like any normal tables. They are made up of data that contain rows and columns. Rows go side to side, and columns go downwards. There are 4 central elements to use when creating a table. First is the table element, which everything is embedded inside of. Then there is the tr element, which identifies it as a table row. The td element contains the actual data, and the th element identifies it as a column. Let's go through all of these right now. Okay, so first we will create the table element. We identify this as a table with a closing and ending table tag. Let's set up the columns first, using a tr element tag. Then, as I said, we will create the columns using the th tag. We are going to call this the name. Let's make 2 more columns. We will have another one called the oceans, and we will create another column called the continent. Now let's create some data to put in those columns. We will use the tr tag to create a table row. You might be wondering why we used a table row tag for the columns. The reason is that it is still a table row if you think about it. It still goes sideways. This just identifies it as a column. We're going to create the table row again, and by using the td tag to hold our data. The first piece of data we will store is called Tom, which is obviously a name. This td tag space will correspond with this first column and goes in a top-down order. So again, this data will correspond with this column as the first position within these tr elements. So keep that in mind. The next cell will contain an ocean, which we will call the Pacific. The next cell will contain data for a continent, which we will call the Asia. Let's go ahead and save this, open it up, and you can see here are our columns. You'll notice that the columns are bold by default in HTML, while the table data is not in bold. Keep that in mind. If we wanted to add another continent, ocean, or name, we can do that simply by copying and pasting to create a completely new row. For example, let's add Bob for another name. We will add the Atlantic for the ocean and the North America for the continent. This aligns with the first position, name, the second position, oceans, and the third position, continent. Let's go ahead and save this now and render it again. There you can see we've got our new row with our new data. When we get to CSS, as mentioned before, we will stylize these tables. We can create menus, shopping carts, and more using tables. Alright, that's going to do it for this tutorial. I will see you guys in the next HTML tutorial.